back to Lenettes Life. I am, of course, yours truly, Lynette, and this is my life. And today, you guys, we are going to be reacting to some acts of kindness. This morning, I woke up and, I don't know, I just fell down this rabbit hole of videos, just showing acts of kindness. And it weighed on me heavy because yesterday, I haven't uploaded the video, but yesterday I was in Walmart just, looking for some things, just basically in there just, shopping. And I noticed there was an elderly lady as I was getting ready to go down one of the aisles. At the end of the aisle, there was a bunch of flowers, carnations, fake flowers or whatever, just right there, that you can get and buy. And she was trying to get this one specific one that was at the very top of the shelf. And as I was walking down the aisle, I saw her trying to get it, but then it looked like she was about to walk away from it. But then as I was looking at some of the stuff on the shelf, I noticed that she came back and she was still trying to reach it. And as I looked up, I saw that it was kind of tangled with another one, and the way it was bent in the rack, it was stuck up underneath one of the shelves that I was happened to be looking at. And, I just kind of stopped and I looked at her and I say, "Do you need some help?" And she said, "Yes, ma'am, that would be so nice. I really want that flower." And, I kind of untangled it, and she was reaching from the front. So I pushed it by the stem, down to her, and it was two of them entangled. And I asked her, I was like, "Is the top one the one you want?" She was like, "No, I want that one right there." She described the color. It was purple. And so I scooted it out to her where she could reach it. And, she was just like, "Thank you so much," because that would have bugged me if I couldn't have gotten it, or if I had to go walk around and try to find an associate to help. So, it just goes to show that no matter who the person, no matter what your day may look like, no matter how busy you may be, slow down and pay attention to what's around you, because you never truly know who you may be helping. Y'all excuse my background. I got clothes I still need to fold. That's gonna be my act of kindness today, folding my own clothes. But yeah, just wherever you are, whatever you got going on in life, show kindness. So today, like I said, that was still on my heart. And then I was watching some videos on YouTube while I was in the bathroom. And like I say, I fell down this hole. And one video in particular, I'm going to throw it in the mix of things because I know how emotional I can get. It resonated very much so with me, But I have seen these videos, but if you guys would love to see me react to videos like this in the future, I'll try not to watch any and do my reaction. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. I don't want this video to be too long. My intro is already 4 minutes long. But anyway, welcome back, my beautiful gems. And today we will be reacting to acts of kindness. Alright, you guys. The first one we're going to get into is Mother's Act of Kindness Goes a Long Way. 2 minutes, 33 seconds.
Mom says she was sleep deprived and running on empty. That sound familiar? When a stranger stepped in to help when she needed it most.
Well, now a photo from the chance meeting in a Pearland Target store has gone viral. Areka Mudaraj tracked down the mom and the woman she calls an angel.
No, don't do the ball in the house.
Life at Rebecca Patterson's Pearland home is, well, chaotic.
I bet that is hard having a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
She's
Right.
mom to
Like, don't worry
2-month-old
about it.
Aiden and
This is
2-year-old
my everyday
Jacob.
life.
It took a little time for us to get settled.
So
But we
people
wanted
on
to
the
know
outside
the
looking
story
in,
behind her
it's
picture
chaos.
that's been shared
But to us
online
as mothers,
tens
we
of
know.
thousands of times.
It was like my first time out really with the both of them.
It was taken Monday night at the Target in Pearland.
The baby starts crying and Jacob starts crying harder.
But Rebecca says what was supposed to be a quick trip to the store started going downhill quickly. That's when she says a woman walked around the corner and offered to help.
Very calm, very sweet, tell she was kind.
The woman was a stranger. Rebecca calls her an angel. She goes by Tiffany Guillory.
I said, go ahead and do your grocery shopping, and I'll just hold Jacob and I'll talk to him. I picked him up, I put him in my arms, and I talked to him.
What's that, y'all? He know I'm recording.
They walked around the store for 45 minutes, and as Rebecca checked out, she took this photo and shared it in a private Pearland Moms Facebook group to thank a stranger for her kindness.
And it really touched me because I know how it is. I've been there. I have, you know, 2 kids, and it's frustrating, and that baby is 2 months. So you have hormones going, and you know, people are looking at you crazy, and I just wanted to help God send me there too.
She said she was.
Tiffany says she's overwhelmed by the reaction.
Not only are you gorgeous, but beautiful inside too.
A small gesture
Not to play on
Rebecca
race
will
or
never
anything,
forget.
but it goes to
Kindness
show
and
that,
understanding goes a long
you
way.
know,
You know, and
how many times did people see her in the store with her child or her children and
Standing
judge
for
her,
Houston,
you
Reka
know, without
Mutteraj,
helping.
KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, he left his door open.
Whoa,
Sorry for
that's
that
so sweet.
Child whisperer.
It's the smallest gesture, right,
Yeah.
that made
let's
the
go to
biggest
the next
difference.
one. Photo of Toddler and Stranger bonding in airport goes viral.
Now to a sweet story behind some photos that went viral on Facebook. They captured a businessman and a toddler becoming fast friends at an airport. ABC's Janae Norman has more.
This is the picture that's warming hearts across the country. Little Carter Jean, only 16 months old, in her blue striped pajamas, making friends in the airport with this complete stranger.
I asked her, did she want to sit next to me? And she did. And I showed her some Snoopy videos, and we just had a good time.
Carter's father was touched by the man's kindness and shared this snap on Facebook, writing, "Watching them in that moment, I couldn't help but think different genders, different races, different generations, and the best of friends. This is the world I want for her."
He was just very kind to my daughter the entire time, even when she was, being a toddler and grabbing and touching and flipping through the tablet. He could care less.
The post has been shared more than 140,000 times since Saturday.
Say hi. Say hello.
For those 45 minutes, time stood still, both Carter and Joseph Wright forming an undeniable bond.
It just warmed my heart when little Carter just wanted to share her food with somebody else. That was very touching.
Adorable. Now, some on social media did criticize Carter's dad for pointing out their different races. In response, he says, it's like we can't communicate about our differences because we've been pretending they don't exist. He said they do exist and we should embrace them.
But that was the whole point. He was just pointing out the differences. It wasn't like he was trying to be racist or like he was just, throwing race in there. It was clearly, black man with a little white girl. Come on, people. Amazes me how people will just that was such a heartfelt situation and people will dissect it and try to put a negative spin on it. Like, dang, can't we just be happy that he captured the moment? Because he could have not captured that moment at all and let that shit went, excuse my language, but he could have let that went on and nobody have ever known other than the people that witnessed it in the airport that day. You see what I'm saying? He brought awareness. He brought attention to it. He didn't have to do that. He could have kept them pictures for his private joy, or he could have not captured it at all. Like, dang, people can be so negative in this world and it's sad and pathetic. Okay, let's do text about baby goes to wrong number, man visits anyway.
When a Bainbridge family announced a birth through a group text message, they accidentally sent the text to a wrong number.
How many of y'all ever got text messages that was sent to the wrong number?
News 10 Shannon Wiggins is live in the newsroom to show us how two
that
brothers
was one number
responded
off.
to the mistake.
moving
Yeah,
too fast.
the two brothers who received those text messages showed up to the hospital with gifts for the new baby, and that family welcomed them with open arms. It's the texting mix-up that is setting the internet on fire. These text messages were mistakenly sent to the phone of 19-year-old Deoric Williams Saturday morning.
Sent me a text message, and I seen it in the phone. When I looked at it, I replied and told him that they had the wrong number.
The messages and pictures announcing the birth of Lindsay and Mark Lashley's son were sent by a relative.
I replied and told them they had the wrong number, and they didn't understand it, you know, because they was like still happy and all about having a baby and everything.
They continue to carry on the conversation with Williams, inviting him and his brother Dennis to the local hospital in Bainbridge.
When we first got in there, it was kind of like a shockwave, like they didn't know we was actually still coming or was we going to come at all.
The brothers came with diapers, pacifiers, and baby bottles when they met newborn Kason Knox Lashley.
We explained everything, what we was here for, and how we got to know that they was there. They was pretty cool about it, and they invited us in like we was just one of their family.
The brothers say they've received positive feedback from the community and the family.
I mean, basically, it don't matter how you look. You come with a kind heart, man.
Right.
No matter where you come from, you come with a kind
heart.
The Williams brothers say the mix-up has gained them a whole lot of new followers on social media. We weren't able to reach baby Knox's parents today. However, they did thank the Williams brothers for their kindness on Facebook. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Shannon Wiggins, WAOB News 10.
All right, what we gonna do? Waiter fees disabled customer at IHOP gets incredible job offer.
A national recognition. A photo of him has been shared more than 3,000 times after lending a hand to a customer. News Channel 20's Matt Wickos is here with more on this story. Matt.
Lindsay, it was a normal Saturday for IHOP's Joe Thomas, dealing with a rush of people as they came in to get breakfast. Thomas not only attended every table, but he made sure this one couple in need got extra assistance. Joe Thomas has been working at the IHOP on Dirksen in Springfield for over a decade. A photo of him is going viral after he stopped to help a woman eat her food.
They're just really nice people, really.
The woman and her husband have been coming to sit at Thomas's tables for years now. He says she has trouble eating because of a medical issue, and her husband would step in, but Thomas wanted to come to enjoy their meal together.
I always say stop and eat. If I ain't doing nothing, why not just go ahead and feed him so he can eat and everybody be happy? My parents always taught me to treat people as equal, and that's what I try to do all the time.
As soon as this photo went viral, Thomas started to read the overwhelming amount of support he was getting.
It really felt good to for somebody to actually see that another person is doing something and taking notice. I mean, it felt good, but at the same time, like I said, I really don't care for the recognition too much because it's just something that should automatically be done, regardless. I mean, I'm there to help out just about anybody if I can. Don't really be looking for nothing in return. Just have a good day. That's it.
Right.
Thomas says since the photo went viral, he received a job opportunity to become a nurse. Lindsay?
Great story.
All right, let's see. See 23-year-old helps scared elderly man down escalator. Now that, you have to pay attention to people's body language. Not everybody is. It's between elderly people and babies or young kids who struggle on escalators. I see it all the time. Well, not all the time, but when I am in places that have them.
It's the photo that's touching everyone. A young man helping an 83-year-old gent down an escalator. The image of them, arms linked, is warming hearts across America. The elderly man was frozen with fear as he stood at the top of an escalator at a mall in Holyoke, Massachusetts. He was terrified to get on, mainly because of a previous frightening experience he once had on an escalator. That's when 23-year-old Alonzo Johnson stepped in.
I saw an elderly man just looking for someone to show that they cared and to help him through fear that he had.
Johnson, who was doing some summer shopping, extended his arm and gently escorted his new pal down the escalator.
We were just talking going down the escalator, and it was more of me just having him talk so he can get his mind off of things. And I told him about how his hat looked really nice and how he looked very good for being an 83-year-old man.
A hospice nurse took the photograph and posted it to her Facebook page. It instantly went viral. Humanity doesn't get any better than this, went one reaction. The world needs more people like this. It's not unusual for the elderly to be afraid of escalators.
You know, we would see that and laugh and not realize the trauma that may have caused. That lady probably never got on another escalator after that.
74-year-old Laney Beaver understands the fear.
What can be scary for, say, a senior citizen when using an escalator?
Oh my gosh. I always worry I'm going to trip. You know, getting on, I mean, it could be difficult. You know, I've tried to time it.
I'm in my
Sometimes
30s and I worry about that.
Both hands.
Now, more proof that a small gesture of kindness can have a big impact.
For me, it's more of what my mom always taught me, that to always do the right thing and always to help people whenever you can.
Alright, that was a good one. Let's see, 3 men help elderly couple into a car in a touching moment.
What's going to happen? Mr. Emery Staines.
You ever been out, you guys, while this is, I'm gonna pause it real quick. You ever been out and you see an elderly couple and you're looking and you're like, how he helping her? He barely getting around. How she helping him and she barely getting around? You know, you never know. But then in the same breath, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times I look at those couples and I'm like, man, they still at it. They still getting it, you know. But do you ever stop? And a lot of them, you can stop and offer them help. And they be like, oh, no, I'm fine. We got it. Just going to take us a little while. Because I have offered my help to an elderly couple trying to get in the car. And they, oh, no, baby, we got it. We're fine, you know. It's just gonna take us a minute. You might come out. I never forget the lady told me, she said, you might come out from your shopping and we still out here, but we gonna get it, you know. Cause a lot of them don't, they don't wanna take the help because then it makes them feel as though it's time to sit down. You know, a lot of them like to keep going because, you know, a lot of the times with older people, you know, senior citizens, when they sit still for too long, or when they have nothing to do, or when they're not being productive, or, you know, when they don't have something to focus on, a lot of them passed away, you know. So, but if you see them, like, I mean, talking like just like how this couple was, he's hunchback, he's bent over, barely getting around, and as you listen a little further, you'll understand why he's the way he is. But she it's almost like she couldn't even move her legs. She started losing control of her legs, and it's like you see somebody who's really, really struggling, offer help regardless of what you feel they might tell you. I may, out of 10 people, get 8 of the couples or 8 of the elderly people telling me, no, I'm good, I'm fine. But then those 2 cases where I offered that help, they really needed it. You know what I'm saying? So even if your kindness is turned down or your offer is turned down, don't be afraid to offer your help to anyone. So let's go ahead and get back into this. See, like, she couldn't even move her legs. I don't know if she...
3 young men helping an elderly couple struggling to get to their car.
So you imagine that.
Take it easy, y'all.
She's in a wheelchair.
Sheriff's Deputy Kenesha Carnegie was driving by at the time.
And he's
as I was sitting there, I looked to my left and I noticed these young men helping this elderly couple. So I went over to assist them. I jumped out my truck, I went over to assist them. And when I got there, they kind of had it under control, you know. So I thought at the time they looked really beautiful. That was a nice view to see, you know. And I stepped back and I videoed them.
Watch as they carefully lift 89-year-old
and you know,
Rose Reese
because
into her
I mean,
car.
yeah, young men, we see all your stripy underwear, your green and your blue underwear.
The men don't leave until they make sure the couple is safely inside.
Thank you very much, brother. I'm 100 years old.
This man is 100 years old, y'all. 100 years old. With a wife in a wheelchair.
Kenesha says she hopes the video inspires others to want to help and care.
That's the beauty of it, to see them, to let their parents, even their parents, their mothers, their fathers, you know, their grandparents, to see something. I didn't anticipate this to go viral. I didn't anticipate this at all.
Thank you.
You take it easy, mama. That was cute.
This is InsideEdition.com.
And the next one is widow who was invited to eat with strangers. I think God sent me there. He sent you there.
We end with a sweet and tender Southern barbecue experience. Steve Hartman serves it up on the road.
For barbecue lovers, Brad's Barbecue in Oxford, Alabama is heaven on earth. But 80-year-old Eleanor Baker says her visit here earlier this month was especially divine.
I think it was a God thing. I think God sent me there.
You think we needed the example?
Yes. That people care about other people and how important it is.
Eleanor is a widow. She lives with her dog, Rufus. And although she has a big family, they mostly live out of town. So Eleanor was alone the night she went to Brad's barbecue. Security footage shows her entering. They're in the
let me stop. Because that touched me. See, I'm not getting as emotional as I guess because I've watched them before, so that's why I say if y'all want my raw reaction, just let me know. Leave it down in the comments, and that way I can show y'all how it really did touch me. But you look at this lady, she's a widow, husband has passed on, gone on, don't know how many years, but I don't know, maybe they said and I just didn't hear it because I got the TV kind of low, but has a big family, but everybody has moved on, and that's what we tend to forget. You know, we go on with our lives and we move on, and we forget about the older heads. We forget about those who got us to where we are, essentially, you know. And they may come visit holidays. We don't know the situation, but you look at it's 365 days in the year, but let's say you come for a week to visit your people. What about those other 300 and something days? You know what I'm saying? Like, she probably dines alone often. How many times do you see somebody out dining alone, an elderly person or someone? You know, yeah, we tend to, especially when it comes to people eating and things like that, we tend to want to give them their privacy because we don't want to intrude and things like that. You know, people are very particular when it comes to them eating and stuff. And now in today's age, it's hard for a situation like that to happen because of pandemic and stuff. But so, it was real sweet that they did what they did, though. But let's go ahead and finish this because, like I said, I don't want this to be long. Y'all know me.
And at about that same time, these three young men arrived. They say they were just having a good old time.
We was all just sitting there just talking.
When Jamario Howard noticed Eleanor.
An older woman sitting by herself.
Jamario says he hates seeing people eat alone.
And I seen that.
When most of us see someone eating alone, we feel that way.
And see, I would be the awkward one. I'd be like, oh, no, I'm good,
and
thank you.
Jamario really wanted to fix this.
I need this a long time.
So he got up from his table and sat at hers.
He just came up and he said, I saw you sitting over here alone. And he said, do you mind having some company?
And she said, go right ahead. And then I introduced myself and she introduced herself. And that's just kind of how it all got started.
They all ended up having dinner together.
And it was just a really nice, pleasant evening.
What those 20-somethings did that night speaks volumes about their character. But they say it wasn't entirely altruistic. They enjoyed her company as much as she enjoyed theirs.
Because when we left there, that's all we talked about.
When you make that kind of connection with somebody, it's hard to let it go. Like, I already feel like we're her grandkids.
So you got room for these guys to do that?
Of course. I'm so glad y'all could make it.
They have all vowed to make room for one another.
See, now she got some
certainly,
local
if Eleanor's
family.
right,
See
that God played any role in this, it may be to
by
remind us of the
accepting them
joy
to her
that awaits
table.
just outside the bubble.
She has somebody locally that can
I
check on
used to
her
say when I was
regularly.
younger, and I still say today, like, I'm gonna change the world somehow. And I don't know how, because I'm not rich, I'm not famous, and I'm not very smart either, so I can't be the president. But we can show the world that it's all right to be kind, and then before long, maybe the world will be a much better place.
Amen.
If only it was that
Steve
simple, though,
Hartman
y'all. You know
on
how
the
many
road
acts of kindness
in
there
Oxford,
are out there in the
Alabama.
world?
That is the
Sometimes
CBS
evil
Evening
can
News. That was
outweigh
wonderful. I'm Jeff Glore. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Make you feel like it ain't there. All right, here's one. Boy consoles crying classmate with autism on first day of school. No, this is not the one that got me, you guys. I mean, it got me, but it wasn't as bad as the other one. When 8-year-old Christian saw another boy crying alone on the first day of school, he went up to him and held his hand. The boys had never ever met before, but thanks to Christian's compassion, a new friendship.
He was consoling him, and he grabbed his hand and walked him to the front door, and we waited until the bell rang, and he walked him inside the school, and the rest was history. They have an inseparable bond.
Christian had no clue the other boy, Connor, has autism. Because they're kids. Of course they don't know. Christian's mom, Courtney, posted a photo of Sweet Gesture on Facebook and got a response from Connor's.
I fear every day that someone's going to laugh at him because he doesn't speak correctly, or laugh at him because he doesn't sit still, or because he, jumps up and down and flaps his hands.
I was in fourth day at school, and I started crying. Then helped me, and I was happy.
Ever said Connor has autism, and then Courtney shared that Christian struggles with speech. Each boy is unique in their own way.
It doesn't matter, color, it doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter disability, it doesn't matter anything. Just be kind, open your heart, and
because you never know
what we need in this world.
One act of kindness,
okay, maybe it's
can
getting me
change
now,
someone's life.
Can change the world. That's all it takes.
You never know. Christian's kindness did change Connor's life, and they both gained a lifelong friend because of it. Yeah. That was beautiful. Let's see. Okay, this is the one that made me want to do this the most. At first I was just enjoying watching the acts of kindness, but then this one here kind of took a turn. It is...
This is the first time Officer Tim Purdy and
Photo of
18-year-old
police officer
Jeremiah Glover have
consulting
seen one
goes
another
viral.
since that dangerous day.
Long
time no see. You been doing all right?
They come from me.
And this is the first time Jeremiah's mom has seen the now famous photo.
Wow.
And this is what happened.
Now let me tell y'all something. When I saw that photo before, cause in the title it doesn't say anything, but as an autism mom, we tend to, if you're very in tune with your child, we tend to pick up on signs. And just from a picture, me seeing that picture, I looked at that kid and I was like, either he has autism or he has special needs in some form. Sometimes it's hard to pinpoint autism because it has so much that's intertwined with it that it can be this, that, and the third. Not just be autism, or it could be autism with all of this along with it. But just looking at that picture and watching his body language and how he was looking down and how he was kind of, even though it's a picture, I could see he was fidgeting. He was fidgeting at the moment. Excuse me, y'all. And so that let me know just through a picture, okay, this kid, I'm kind of jumping ahead of the video, but I just wanted to let y'all know that just from the thumbnail, I kind of saw that through the picture.
This is 911.
May 12th, North Carolina, Charlotte. Jeremiah's mother calls 911 to report her autistic son missing. He's got a history of violence, maybe suicidal.
We were doing good, and I don't know what happened today.
Purdy, a 22...
You heard that? We were doing good, and I don't know what happened today. What do I tell y'all every day? Every day for me and mine is a struggle because you never know what you're going to get. He has a history of violence. It's not necessarily that he's a violent person, but a lot of times that's how they express themselves. And a lot of times the anger is what they express the most. That's the easiest one. My child could be having a good day and all of a sudden a switch goes off and he's angry. He's upset. Something just ticked him off. And it's like, but we were just having fun. Where did this come from? Because anger is the most easiest emotion to revert to, you guys. Even you notice you're on the road and you're singing your nice little tune and then somebody cut you off and next thing you know, you cussing them out. Because it's the easiest one to come through. So I'm glad that, you know, she did. She forewarned the operator, letting them know, hey, this is my child. And up until that point, anything could have happened before she called. You see what I'm saying? But the fact that when she called, she let them know, hey, look, he's autistic. He has a history with violence, and he may be suicidal. So that lets then when the dispatcher, you know, relays that to the officer should walk into that situation knowing, okay, this person is autistic, they're special needs, which means I'm going to have to switch up my approach. They have a tendency of violence, so I need to keep my distance, all while still allowing them the opportunity to know that I'm there to help them. Also, they may be suicidal, so let me not push any buttons. Let me try to reel this back in. But see, not too many people use that type of logic and common sense. They go into it and it doesn't matter whether they know you have autism or not. You display aggressiveness, they return the favor without knowing the situation. And you'll see when we...
A 22-year police veteran's just starting his day. On the radio, he already hears two fellow officers have found Jeremiah, but he reads something else in their voices.
You know what? Let me tell y'all something. It was already two officers there. He could tell in the officers' tone in their voice that things were about to escalate, you guys. Imagine had he ignored that because, oh, you know, two officers are already on the job. I could be used somewhere else. Let them handle it. Then bam, we have a young man who is thrown in jail, possibly injured, or death because he got too violent. And then they in turn use too strong of a force for him. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that he was led, and I'm gonna say this like I always say, God led him to that situation to defuse the situation. Yeah, he went viral off of that picture, but guess what? He was needed in a situation that could have ended very horribly.
Just kind of head that way and see if I might be able to help out a little bit.
Driving up, he sees the officers physically struggling to restrain the teen.
I pulled right here.
And
what? They were what? Physically struggling. Which means two officers. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something about that because I had an incident with my child. And y'all seen my baby. I know how small he is. It took dang near 6 officers. 4, 5, 6, however many. Because I wasn't present. My mom, this is coming from my mom. It took 6 of them to pin my baby down to the ground. At that time, Sheldon had to have been about 70 pounds. 70, 75 pounds. 80 at most, soaking wet. I think he's like 80 now. So, it took 6 grown people to hold. At the time, he was 8 or 9. Like 9 or 10, something like that. It took that many of you to hold him down. Why? Because, let me tell y'all something about special needs people. Kids or adults. So imagine this is a teenage boy, and he's a big boy, a tall big boy. My child is a little bitty, long and lanky. So if it took 6 of them to handle him, that speaks on their strength. I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know when, what, but for some reason, special needs children and people have this unfounded strength, you guys. I don't know where it come from. It takes bodybuilders years to get to where they are. But those people, man, they have an unaccountable strength. And you never know when it's going to strike. Sometimes me and my baby will be playing, and it start off our friend, he, and then it quickly turns into, hold on! That lick hurt, bruh. A lot of times he tap out first. But still, he'd be like, hold on, bro. Wait a minute. Is we playing or is we for real? Because you hit kind of hard. And sometimes, even when I'm playing with him and I'm trying to hold him, you know, to restrain him, like his wiggle and his strength and his pressure is just like, oh, you're not going to hold me. And I can't hold him for long. So I'm telling y'all, they got some strength, bro. And it took, as you can see, for this teenage boy, it took 2 of them, and they still couldn't get it. So you take a situation like that, because this one person is taking advantage of the both of you. Y'all can't restrain him as easily as y'all would an everyday average person. Then you go to excessive force, and somebody gets hurt or dead.
And senses it's about to go very bad. His next move is remarkable.
So as I approached him, I just kind of got down on my knees, you know.
I know this is turning into a lesson of autism, but listen here. When you're dealing with an autistic person or a special needs person, whatever level they're on, if they're laying on their belly on the floor, guess what? Lay on your belly on the floor and communicate with them. You have, because let me tell you one thing about autism. Even when I'm talking to my child, if I'm sitting here talking to him, let's say he's y'all, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, Sheldon, da 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 da, the whole time, Sheldon is either like this, up there, here, back here. He's never fully looking at me unless I say, hey, look at me. But even still, he'll stop for a minute and look at me, and it's like you see nothing in his eyes. And then he's right back to this. I'm not fussing, just having an average conversation, like calmly talking like this here. And it's so hard for them to just come here. So a lot of the times, whatever level they are on, you have to get to that level with them so that they can feel calm and feel like, okay, this is somebody I can get with. They on my level. They understand me. My child now, he's stubborn. If Sheldon is like looking down and I happen to kind of duck down to the level where he can see me, he gonna turn his head. He gonna be petty. He's very petty. But let's get back into this.
And tried to get
a 2-minute video and took me
his
5
level.
minutes.
What'd you talk about after that?
Football, the Panthers.
The explosive situation turned into a
Boy, man, I could
conversation.
only imagine the police.
A fellow officer was so moved by the scene, he took a photo. It went viral.
So tell me this, was the getting down on his level training?
Nope.
Or something you have just learned?
Just something that I've learned.
Thank you for being on.
Jeremiah's distraught mom remembers racing up, fearing the worst.
The officer definitely was on his level, sitting with them, communicating, and my son was safe.
Purdy is overwhelmed by all of the attention, saying he knows other cops do similar things daily without any recognition.
There you go. Leave on a good one, brother.
What could have gone wrong has turned out more than all right, thanks to a police officer who showed up armed with compassion. Martin Savage, CNN, Charlotte.
Did you catch that? He showed up armed, but with compassion, you guys. Just because you armed don't mean you got to use it. You know, like he said, it's so many, he knows so many officers that do that daily that don't get recognition. And that's true. It is a lot of people out there who do know how to instinctually handle that situation, but it's a lot of them out there that don't. And it's sad that that's not a part of training. I know it's a lot they have to learn, but when you're dealing in a world that is just as equal with special needs people as there is regular, average, everyday Joes, it should still be a part of the training worldwide. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of the people that, I'm not going to say 9 times, let's say 8 times out of 10, a lot of the cases of police brutality or excessive force or death by a cop is of someone with special needs, because the officer that approached that situation didn't understand how to read the signs. You would think that, you know, with experience that officers would learn to be able to notice the signs, but a lot of them miss the mark. A lot of them are young, fresh, new, and miss the mark. A lot of the times, the ones that do show that compassion and can assess the situation before approaching it are ones who are experienced. They've been on the job for a while, or they have a family member that they have dealt with that show those same signs. A lot of times it comes from a place of personal experience rather than training or knowledge. It comes from having someone in your family close to you that you've dealt with this before. You see what I'm saying? You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child? Man, it takes a whole village, I'm talking every military branch to raise a special needs kid. But yeah, guys, that's the end. That's what we're going to end on, that one right there. I hope you guys enjoyed. As you can see, I am wearing my shirt today. Boom, boom, pow. The lighting is kind of blurring it out, but that's how you know it's blinky, y'all. It's blinky. That was my... Ooh, my kick child, sorry. That was my reaction to acts of kindness and my long tangent on autism, because as you know, I'm an advocate for autism. Like that's my life. My daily living is being a mother to an autistic child at the end of the day. So anytime I see a moment that I could teach, I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave it down in the comments if you want to see more. I didn't give the reaction that I generally had at first, because I've seen these already, so it's like I've already had a little time to process them. But if you want to see my raw reaction to others, just leave it down in the comment section. I'm hoping to make this kind of like a little segment on my channel, just to break up all the long videos, you know, even though this one is the first one, it's going to be longer till I get adjusted to it. But yeah, just let me know if this is something you would like to see from me. I'll try to get a better setup for it, in which I'm working on something in my room for that. But in the meantime, in between time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, share with your people so they can share with their people. People, come on. Let's help this beautiful family of gems grow. In the meantime, in between time, y'all already know what it is. I holla.